Welcome to the shop. I'm Jared and this is Wrench Every Day. And today we get a second chance at getting this thing working. If you remember last time when we had this 1978 Dodge B200 Sportsman van done up just like Brock Yates and Hal Needham's Cannonball run, we hit a wall. We were making good progress. We had a big mega episode, lots of exciting content for you. And we wanted to end it with going down the highway and burnouts and exciting stuff, and, well, it was just disappointment. We hit a wall because our gear vendor's unit underneath it, which is an aftermarket overdrive, needed a gasket. I made a gasket, but had some concern that it needed to be a very precise thickness, and, well, turns out it did. It does have a very special gasket that I now have in my hands, bespoke just for that unit there, gasket. Bespoke. Why is that familiar? Oh yeah, today's sponsor, Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering top shelf goods from off-the-radar brands. It's free to join, you can skip a month or cancel anytime. Every month, Bespoke Post introduces its members to cool new products. Outdoor gear, barware, home and kitchen goods, clothing, and more. Even live oysters, if that's something you're into, based on a preference quiz you fill out. Every box has around $70 worth of goods inside, but only costs you a fraction of that value. You'll get a box assigned to you, and before it ships, you'll get a preview of what comes inside, and you'll get to decide if you want to 1. Keep it, 2. Swap it for a different box, or 3. Skip the month entirely for no charge. You only pay for what you want. I've got 3 of the boxes that I was really excited to get. I've got Tooled, I've got Switchback, and I've got Aged, and let's talk about them. Tooled comes with 3 quick portable tools that you should always have at your side. First, we've got a 13-piece bit driver set with a built-in carrying case, pocket holder, magnet clip, everything you want in a quick, convenient bit driver set. Next, you've got a pen flashlight, something that's always convenient, nice and compact, easy to carry. And the last part of the kit is a 10-foot braided paracord keychain, something you should always have with you. If you're ready to start hiking, Switchback is the box for you. Comes with a tri-fold shovel that I think a lot of people don't realize you can set it up like that and kind of do some chopping and digging motion. You get a nice, high-quality compass. It's been a long time since I've been in Boy Scouts, but there's some glow-in-the-dark things, and it'll help you find your way. You got a fire starter, you've got a small little lantern, and last that you need in your backpack is a good quality knife. Now, the last box that I was really excited to get a hold of was one called Aged. What's really neat about Aged is you get these awesome whiskey glasses that naturally stir, and it also comes with these really neat aging sticks, a cheesecloth filter. These were some boxes I was real excited to get. Which ones are you going to? To get 20% off your first box, click the link in the description box below and enter code WRENCH20 during checkout, or head on over to bespokepost.com/wrench20. So along with the parts for our gear vendor, so I can take it back apart and put it back together the correct way, we're going to go ahead and finish up some of the engine wiring and installation that we need to do there. We've got some improved spark plug wires. Just, again, we're trying to do overkill on everything. And for those of you who might be wondering, David did get home in time to go to that Garth Brooks concert. Each their own. So, real quick, for those of you who have not seen the first episode on this yet, you really probably should. There's a lot of history that goes into what this van is and why it's kind of special and why I'm excited working on it. But the super condensed version is this was created to compete in a Cannonball run, a race from New York to LA. Not very legal. Probably shouldn't do it. We do support questionable choices, and I don't like being a hypocrite, so do what you want to. But at any rate, this was made to run in the final C2C Baker run, 1979. Failed miserably. Travis Bell rebuilt this thing, perfect replica, and it's failed miserably every time since. So we are now going through to make it so it can finally actually complete a run, because it was a promise from Travis Bell to Brock Yates that this van will make the run. So we're just trying to help a real good friend fulfill a promise. But we're going to go ahead and get started into working on this, so we'll get it back in the air, gear vendors on the table, then just a whole lot more wiring and exciting things, and we are going to drive this van. This episode, it's going to happen because I don't think David has any more concerts, and he's still actually driving up. I'm just getting a head start because we need to drive this thing. All right, time to work. welcome to Under the Van again. Let's get you caught up. So as you can see, we got that nice big round shaft back in there. That's for you, Car Wizard. And if you noticed, the gear vendors is a lot prettier. I went ahead and had this thing completely taken apart, cleaned everything, replaced all the gaskets, torqued exactly to spec, and hopefully ready to work. We've got fresh fluid in it, so it is good to go. The other thing we got taken care of, and you could have seen it with some of the time lapse, is we've got our new massive Holley fuel pump there. Now that thing's only job is to transfer fuel from this tank into the back. Insanely overkill for its job, but one reason we are running that big of a pump is if somehow some insane, impossible thing happens and both internal tank pumps fail, we can have a separate line set up that will make that feed the engine. That is more than enough to feed the engine. It will make the same fuel pressure it needs to happen, and we can run on that. So that's 3 potential fuel pumps. Triple redundancy there. That's like airline level of stuff, and I kind of like that underlight there. It's almost like some horror movie thing. I don't know. But that wraps up, for the most part, what we need to do underneath. There's a little bit of wire trimming and cleanup, but we're ready to go up top, get our catch cans mounted, get the, what else is it? Ignition coil mounted, finalize up some wiring, and then put coolant, transmission fluid top off, and engine oil top off, and hopefully we get to hear this thing fire up soon. We have Italian, we have spaghetti out. We are working on all of this wiring, getting it rooted and run how we want it, nice and clean, tucked up, protected, and done and connected correctly. One of the things I've done, which you really can't see much, is I've got the distributor connected for the pickup and power. And hi, David.
Hey.
You're late. But Garth Brooks was really good, wasn't he?
Very.
But we're looking for our final home on this ignition box. We might end up running it back where it was and just ensuring our coil wire that goes to the distributor is run in a way that's not going to interfere with any of our signal electronics. It's just because this is such a huge engine and such a small hole, you want to try to protect that from vibration and heat. They're very robust coils, but lots of vibration and heat, they're not a fan of.
No, nothing really
Yeah.
is.
We're at the point that there's one section to be working on and we both don't fit, so not it.
Yeah.
I've got to do some film and footage backup. There's a whole lot of stuff there, so I'm gonna let David keep going because our goal is for medevac to fire today.
That would be cool.
I think we should be good.
So we can take it to dinner.
Dinner, there we go.
That'll be sweet.
We're gonna drive this. I'll follow you with roadblock so we can have all the impersonation going down the road.
Oh God, yeah. We all know how that ended up for me last time.
Well, it's getting towed. Now, come on, that wasn't all Roadblock's fault. Sometimes you need to pay that $18 to reinstate your license, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes you need to have a license plate.
It worked fine the first 2 times you were stopped. Third time was not the charm. So anyway, we're going to get in and do some wiring. I'm going to take care of some other outside things. We've got a bird's eye camera to capture everyone's favorite wiring. It's the most important, most crucial, and when done right, you don't even see it.
Yep.
Well, hey, of course the GoPro battery died when I jumped in and did some wiring, but we are almost completely there. We have coil wires, we have a throttle body fully installed and connected. We have all of that wiring tucked up and cleaned up really nice and kind of run in a good spot with our signal wires nice and in safe spot. What's left? We need to run power from the battery to the fuel pumps, and we came up 4 foot short, and rather than splicing it, we're just going to get a new length in the morning. I need to put coolant in it, check the engine oil, and then power up.
Yeah, and
so
bring the noise.
So we're going to go ahead and head out and get dinner. I'm going to get home and walk the Pura, and we're going to get this thing running tomorrow, right?
Yep.
If it doesn't run, what can we call you? What's your name then? People are like, oh, I guarantee it. Otherwise, my name isn't.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Disappointment Dave? I don't know.
All right, it's the next morning. We've done just some of the stuff we didn't need to film, the fiddly wiring, and there is a battery there that David's about to connect, and there's one up here that I'm about to connect. Now, we still have to set fuel pressure and go through the wizard process. Whoop, big spark. That's how you know it's doing the thing.
It's got a decent draw.
Yeah, there's a lot of electronics here.
47 relays.
One of the things we'll need to do is we'll power on, and hopefully those fuel pumps kick into life. And while it's doing that, we'll check for fuel leaks on an immediate spray, start through all of the wizard process on the Sniper, then we set fuel pressure, and there's a whole kinds of stuff to do. So do we do the movie, TV show first start, or do we... David wanted to do the TV show first start.
Because I was told that's how this works.
Yeah, no, well, that person was lying to you. So we'll try a real first start and see what happens. If it fires off or something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, but we don't have any fuel leaks, so no fire.
Yeah,
That's
other
nice.
than the leaks we made through testing, but...
Yeah.
All right, we'll pick you up when we're turning the key. All right, ready?
Yeah.
And 100% real, we haven't...
We have not tried to start this.
All right. Oh. Come on. That sounds like we need to move the distributor.
Sounds 180 out.
I don't know if 180, but at least a little bit.
I think it's overly not
Through the
advanced.
exhaust, too much advance.
It's yes. Yeah, through the exhaust is too much advance, yeah.
Let's
You're
give it
right.
one more shot, but I think we're going to have to...
Yep.
All right. Give her a little throttle. Whoa.
That was fuel pooling in the top. I watched it happen.
Yeah, so, yeah, 1 second.
Still got my eyebrows?
No, sorry. Hopefully the girlfriend likes Garth Brooks and bald eyebrows.
That was exciting.
So, we're going to adjust the distributor a little bit and,
Try it again.
sounds like the wrong way.
System on.
Yep. All right. Grab it, turn it the other way. What is this saying? Stalled. Oh no. Oh, that's a lot. Jeez.
It was fireballing in my face. I'd rather it didn't do it.
Alright. You liked it.
System on.
A little more maybe?
Just to scope. We are going to verify the timing.
Yeah. This
Once
is just,
we're-
once it's running, you lock ignition timing with the wizard and go at it with the... Oh, can we not turn it anymore?
That's all we get.
I hope we don't need more. Hey, come on. So,
Still don't have enough timing.
Status update. Timing is good, as you can tell from that small bit of smoke coming up. Unfortunately, we have a small valve cover gasket leak. We tried cinching it down, and that didn't take care of it. So we're going to lift it up and double check that really expensive gasket that appears to want to be leaking. This side is nice and dry, so we need to look into that corner, try to figure out what's going on there. Then we're just going to kind of once over, front to back, retighten things up, and should be good to go. Whenever you have an electric fuel injection, especially if it's controlling ignition timing, it's still good to check if you're not running timing that it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But when your computer is telling the engine when to spark, you need to confirm what the computer thinks is happening is what is actually happening on the car. So what you do is you go in and you tell it to lock its ignition timing at, we used 15 degrees because that was an easy mark for us to identify on the crankshaft pulley and on the timing cover. And once you tell it to fire only at 15 degrees, using the timing light, you just adjust your distributor position because that's where your sensors are that are telling the computer where it is in rotation, and put that exactly so your firing is at 15 degrees, and now you know things are confirmed. You'll rev it up a little bit, make sure it doesn't drift on you, and you're set and solid. So we are going to kind of front to back it one more time, get that oil leak buttoned up, and then we might go ahead and throw the air cleaner on it. What are your thoughts on the dog box? Do we throw it on, go full send?
Yeah, I think once we button up that valve cover leak, we can go ahead and just reassemble the interior and like take it to lunch.
Yeah, then we're driving. All right, and it is time for a drive, but remember, that is totally legal. All of this is totally legal, 100%. All right, so we are on our first drive. We're letting the Holley do a little bit of its own learning here. You can see right now it's not, but there we go, back into learning. And it's just going to work through slowly, but what we can do that will speed it up a whole lot is David will spend a little bit of time with it and the laptop later and dial this thing in. I'm going to say this though, this is a very floaty, boaty, and alarming vehicle to kind of drive. I can't believe anyone ever drove this thing insanely fast. It's a little, questionable. And that's what we support. As you can tell, all of our lights are off. Our siren, that's off now. We don't want to drive with that on. Drive shaft feels pretty good. Tires need to have a much shorter sidewall, I feel. But, we're making the steps to getting this thing going down the road. feels really good when you do a ton of work and it instantly performs better, right?
Oh yeah. It's a whole different car.
It's changing fuel injection, changing a lot of those little things. So what we are going to do right now is we're going to pick it up and I'm going to give it a good once over, make sure it's good. And then David and I are on our way to the Red Bull. Now, David's going to drive down to Atlanta. We're going to stay with, he's going to stay the night with another friend, drive it, get some good miles on it. We're going to give it another really in-depth inspection in the morning, show you a little bit of the laptop side of tuning a Holley, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Ready? All right, well, we are on the couch. David, you are 8 hours late.
Yeah.
Turns out the van that never fails to fail in Bradley's driveway. We also have Pira and Wellington joining us here. It is quite the party. The starter cable we didn't make. Turns out they kind of didn't crimp it right.
Yeah, and after 14 years of being together, it finally
became not
worked
together.
its way out. Yeah.
Just very conveniently. But we are now about 5 hours of driving in.
Yeah.
And the Holley has been data logging a lot. You were making some adjustments on the handheld. But the beautiful part of that computer is we can take the memory card out, point to it there, and yeah, we'll open up our sniper software. Now, this is different than your normal software. This is the base table. This is the fuel table that it automatically generated and came up with based on our engine parameters. How close do you think it is, David?
Not.
Yes.
When it comes to stuff that's as rowdy as this van, it'll run, it'll get there, but it's not optimized in any way.
Right. So what it's going to do is it's going to constantly learn and correct. So let's load up our learn table. So as we're going around, it is saving these corrections. So this is where David's been able to drive it basically right up to 0% vacuum, which is full throttle conditions, up to 4,000 RPM. As you can look, we are adding 50%. Yeah, so we're almost maxed. Yeah, we have maxed our adding in some of those circumstances, subtracting a little bit.
Now we're going to go through and manually adjust all of this and give it roundabout what we think it's going to want, then drive it some more, and it's sort of a back and forth. This is the nitty-gritty, not fun part.
Yeah, so we're going to do this, lots of driving. We're going to tweak this a little bit more, make that smooth, because you never want any cell next to each other too far apart, because when you're in between the cells, the computer is working and basically estimating between them. So if you're having two that are drastically far apart, computer is working really hard to try to compensate for it, and it's not going to run smooth. Pierce talking to Wellington there. All right, so that was some fun driving. There's still a lot more driving. There'll be a little bit of nut and bolting that I'll do off camera.
I'd drive it to LA right now.
Well, no, we need to go to New York first. Going straight to LA kind of defeats the whole trip. So big thank you for David for jumping on board. Again, he's a huge Cannonball enthusiast. And
won the musket ball in
yeah,
this car.
This is the musket ball winning vehicle, the cheat TDI. Cannonball enthusiast, we are we're excited that with Holley, with Travis, this is going to be piloted by Travis Bell, John Ficarra, Ed Bolian. We are not going to tell you when it's happening because honestly right now we don't know when it's happening because again I'm going to test this a lot and make sure that it is spitting, well no it's not spitting shape up, fighting fit, whatever other isms that we can come up with, but it's gonna make it. We appreciate you guys hanging out on part 2 of preparing the transcontinental medevac to right the wrongs, to make it across country. David, again, big thank you. We'll have information for following him in on Instagram. Make sure you follow Travis Bell, the Retro disc jockey. You got, of course, Ed Bolian with Vin Wiki and John Ficarra with Ficarra Classics. We'll have their information because, again, they're the ones taking the trip, and you're not going to find out beforehand because speeds may be in excess of the posted limits. But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out, and I'm Jared, reminding you guys to always make questionable choices, and that's where you come up with the second pearl of wisdom.
Oh, I don't have anything right now. You're gonna have to give me a minute on that.
Well, you're on the spot. If you find a
don't
pair
have
of
one.
love trucks for $600, go ahead and buy them.
Yeah.